Now, I really tried to resist this one so much, but a new podcast popped up in my YouTube feed, and the lady was wearing this project, and I opened it and I looked at it for like 5 minutes and I decided I just cannot anymore. I need this in my life. So I went to Ravelry and I bought a pattern. Good day everyone and welcome back to the channel. My name is Mariette, also known as the Boervrou, and this is episode 16 of the Crafty Stitches Podcast. Today is the 24th of July 2022 and I'm coming to you from South Africa. So as you can see, I'm wearing my Larimar Tee that I made with Moya Shimmer, which is a 50% bamboo, 50% cotton blend. And it is a hand-dyed yarn, South African hand-dyed yarn, which I really love. You'll see I always talk about Moya yarns in, I think, basically every podcast I've ever made. But anyway, so I love this a lot. I will link it all down below and you can have a look on my project page if you are interested. Alright, and as you can see, because I'm wearing my Larimar Tee, it is a little bit warmer today. The days are actually getting nice and warm, but the evenings are still quite cold. Some days it's very cold. 2 days ago it was really cold, but we are getting to summer one way or another. And I am actually all about the summer vibes. I just want to make all the summer tops and all the summer things. So I don't know. Anyway, so let's jump right into this episode. I have 4 finished objects. And yes, let's jump right into finished objects. Right, so in my previous episode, you would remember I had the baby cardigan that I made that needed its buttons. I'll put a picture up here for you of the cardigan. I did add the buttons and the cardigan is finished and I'm very happy about that. I will link it down below for the last time for you if you want to go have a look at the Ravelry project page. Okay, and then my first actual finished object for this episode is my husband's hat that I made. I think I've frogged back 3 times since I frogged back the last time, but anyway, so the hat is finished and it actually is now the shape that I wanted. I did some short rows on the ears to cover the ears, and yes, I'm very happy with this design. It's got a beautiful crown detail. I made it from the top down, and yes, it fits very well. He's been wearing it for about I don't know, almost a week. I think it's almost a week, and he's very happy with it. The only complaint is the only suggestion that he has is I must please make it out of a thicker yarn because it is a bit cold. Now I thought that if the hat is made in merino yarn that it would be hot enough. So what I did was I gave him my construct hat and said to him, just put it on and see how it feels. And he wore it for about an hour. And he said that it is still too cold. He needs a warmer hat. So I will be taking this shaping and make a chunky version. And then we shall see how that does with heat. But I finally got the fit right so that the hat sits on his head and not move around and fall off and droop over the ears and what have you not, and that his ears are covered completely. So as I said, I did a little bit of short rows shaping in this one, and there is still a few things that I will change in the next one, but yes, at least he's got one hat that properly fits and that he's 100% happy with. So yes, I made a hat and it's finished. I thought I would have to put this on as an Encounter Buddy project, but luckily we haven't reached the end of the month and the hat is finished. So this hat was made in Pure Gold from my stash in the colorway Grizzly, and it is 100% acrylic yarn, and it's got 258 meters per 100 grams, and I made this hat with 4mm needles. So I'm not exactly sure what needle size I'm going to use for the chunky one. I do have some of the Pure Gold chunky in my stash, and I'm sure I think I will try a 5mm needle for that and see how that goes, but that is future plans. I haven't casted on anything yet for that. Right, so that's the first one, is the hat. Where shall I put it? Alright, my second finished object is my July socks. So in the previous episode I just barely had the cuff, and I finished the sock, which is the second sock of the pair, and they are done. This socks was made with 2.25mm circular needles, and I used this Knotty Habit yarn for that, which is a 50% superwash merino, 15% mulberry silk, 15% kid mohair, and 20% polyamide, which is 400 meters on 100 grams, and this colorway was just like that. So these socks, I wear a UK size 7 shoe, and my feet are 23 centimeters long from toe to heel. So my socks took 66 grams of yarn for this pair, which I think is not bad. I mean, 66 grams is more or less what I usually use for socks. Right, so that is my July socks that is done. Then my third finished object is my Skreppa cowl. Oh my goodness, this thing is so beautiful. So this is the Skreppa cowl by JST Knitwear Designs. I went to a workshop from Juanita Meer, who is Juan Knits on Instagram, my friend Leanie of Independence Crochet, and I went to this workshop together, and we started the cowls together, and I finished mine. I used the 3.5mm needles as suggested in the pattern for this one, and I used the main color of this Kaiso Base Knotty Habit sock set, which is this color, as my main color, and I used 2 strands of African Expressions Hope, which is 80% kid mohair and 20% polyamide, for my contrasting color, which gives me this look on the inside. And I love this cowl. It is beautiful, and it is so warm. I love the feeling of this, and just look at all of that fluff. I hope the camera picks that up. It's really beautiful. So for this cowl I used 28 grams of my main color, and no, I'm lying. I used 30 grams of my main color and 28 grams of the mohair. Now the only problem with this cowl is my neck does not like the mohair. It is so scratchy to my neck that I can't wear it. If I have it on my arm like this, it is fine. I mean, to me it feels so soft, but my neck disagrees. So, I don't know. If I want a Skreppa to wear, I would have to make another one. But I'm going to keep this one. And I will see in a year or so's time, or as time passes, maybe I'll get used to it. I don't know. It's not that I'm allergic to mohair, because I don't get an itch factor or redness or anything while working with it. To me it feels fine, and but yeah, it's just scratch factor to my neck. So I don't know what to say, but I love the cowl. It's beautiful. Alright, so that is the Skreppa cowl. And then my fourth finished object is this yarn cake cozy that I made. So this pattern is one of my own designs. It is the yarn cake cozy for 100 gram yarn cakes, and I made this cozy with the Knotty Habit 3-ply DK 100% superwash merino yarn. And this is left over from my construct hat in the colorway Sabelle. And yes, I really like how it feels. I was thinking of trying out other yarn suggestions for the pattern, because it is written for 100% cotton yarn, and so far this is working out great. So we shall see how this goes. I'm going to test it a little bit more, and if I'm happy with that, I will add that as a suggestion in the pattern. So I used 25 grams of yarn for this cozy. So it seems it goes about, you need about the same amount with the merino yarn as you would for the cotton yarn. So that is my fourth finished object. And that is all of the finished objects that I have today. So let's just move right on to whips. Alright, so I don't have a lot of whips today. I actually only have 2 whips and a lot of future plans, but let me show you the whips first. So you will not be surprised at my lace. So this is the lace that I am crocheting for my pantry shelves, and I have, let me just get this marker off. I have almost finished, well, not almost, I'm about halfway finished of my goal, weekly goal of crochet for this week that has just passed. And I ran out of yarn. I just stopped there, but I am working on my third piece of this lace, of which I am making 6 pieces until the end of the year to finish this as one of the projects out of my whip bin. So that is my lace. Let me just see if you got a glimpse there of it. I actually made a video for how I make this lace, and I will link it down below as well for you. This is made with a 2.25mm hook, and this specific is 100% acrylic crochet number 5 yarn. So that is this project, which is my first whip. And then, because I have finished basically all of the other whips that I had in the previous episode, of course I cast on something new. Now, I really tried to resist this one so much, but a new podcast popped up in my YouTube feed, and the lady was wearing this project, and I opened it and I looked at it for like 5 minutes, and I decided I just cannot anymore. I need this in my life. So I went to Ravelry and I bought the pattern. So for this new project, I am using Moya 100% double knit cotton, which is a South African hand dyed yarn, and I am using the colorway Topaz for this project. So what is this new project, you wonder? Well, I am making the Ranunculus. I just couldn't wait anymore. But let me show you my swatches first. So the pattern is written for a 14 stitch gauge, which you usually get with 6mm needles apparently. I wouldn't know. I haven't worked at that gauge ever before. So I decided I want a garment for summer. I'm all about the summer things now. I just want to make all the summer tops. And I decided to make swatches. So I just used this yarn and I made a swatch in the form of a tube, because my main goal why I did this is that the Ranunculus is knitted in the round, and I want to treat my swatch as I would my garment. So I wanted to throw it into the washing machine, and that's why I did not make the normal all of the loops thing at the back for the swatch. I knitted a tube. And then to make sure that I remember which one of my swatches is which needle size, I just added 6 little pull bumps onto my swatch, because this was made with a 6mm needle, and it looked much more open when I knitted it before blocking, and it did fluff up a little bit. I don't know, it is much closer, the gauge, but I couldn't get gauge even with this. I think I still have 2 stitches to match. I think I got something like 16 stitches per 10 centimeters, but I was expecting that. So I also made a swatch with 5mm needles, as you can see the 5 pull bumps, I hope. And for this swatch, I really like this fabric actually. It looks very nice. I hope it won't be too airy at the end of the day, so that you see underwear through it. I don't know, we shall see. And then I was looking at the project pages of other people, and I saw that the twisted rib didn't look very nice to me. And I asked on a WhatsApp group, why do people do twisted rib? And some people said they don't go through the hassle of twisted rib, and others said they like their own twisted rib better because it looks neater. And then I thought, okay, so it is a mixed feelings thing, so it depends on your own twisted rib. So I decided to make a normal 1x1 rib on the one side of my tube of my swatch, and the twisted rib as suggested in the pattern. And I must say I quite like my own twisted rib as well. It is not twisted, both stitches are not twisted, it is just the knits that is twisted. So it looks very nice. I think it looks nice. So I did do that for my top. Alright, so this is my Ranunculus so far. I actually flew through this one. It is on a very short needle. So I'm going to try and open it up a little bit so that you can see. I hope that shows nicely. Alright, and as you can see there, I did do the twisted rib. I did not do the cast on as suggested in the pattern, because my gauge was completely different. I at the end of the day got 19 stitches per 10 centimeters instead of 14, so that makes quite a big difference. It's about, I think it's about 70 stitches difference, that I need 70 stitches more to get the same centimeters worth of fabric. But anyway, so what I did was I'm making notes on my Ravelry page as I go, and I'm trying to do it in such a way, because it is a paid for pattern, so that if you buy the pattern and you are knitting this project, so that you can understand what changes I made to the project. So I added cast on more stitches, so I didn't do the small neckline or the bigger neckline. I did my own in between neckline. And then the pattern does have short row shaping, which I really like, because I have learned over these past few months that I'm not a very big fan of this high up neckline, especially for summer garments. And the other thing that I changed, what else did I change? Let me think quickly. So I cast on my own amount of stitches, and in one of the rounds where you increase, I just increased to the right amount of stitches. So for instance, if you had to increase to 20 stitches and you maybe started with 10 stitches on your cast on, I started with 15 stitches and I increased to the correct amount of 20 stitches. So if you have the pattern, that'll make sense. But anyway, and then we made these beautiful stitches. I really love this texture. And then of course these beautiful, I don't know what they represent, little flowery lace pattern. And yes, I couldn't put this down. I started this project yesterday. Oh my goodness. I did knit a lot, didn't I? And even though I started this project yesterday, I redid the neckline about 4 times, because I tried the cast on method in the pattern and forgot that I don't have the right amount of stitches. So obviously it was too small, and then I redid it in more stitches, and I didn't like the way that it looked on the cable, because I was trying to do it on this cable and the circumference of this is too much, so the stitches pulls a lot, and it makes this stitches pull out quite a lot. And I mean, cotton is not like merino that has that bounce back, so also I didn't like that. And then I put a bigger needle, not a bigger needle, a longer cable on my needles, and I actually knit my neckline on magic loop small like this. And then after I was finished with the neckline, I knitted a little bit, and then I put the smaller cord back so that I can knit in the round. Because as I said, the circumference was just too big, and this is the smallest circumference I can make with my length of needles, because I've got 13 centimeter needles. It doesn't really go much, you can't go smaller than this circumference. And yeah, what is this cable length of mine? Let me see. It is 35 centimeters, 14-inch cable. So yeah, I can't go smaller. But I am really loving this pattern. I'm loving this yarn. I mean, just look at those colors. It is beautiful. I can see so many future ranunculuses in my in my future projects, because it is such a fun knit. It is mindless, but not completely mindless like just vanilla knitting. It keeps your mind occupied, but I actually knitted this this last part during a movie. So we were watching a movie, and I could actually keep track of the pattern and of the movie. What I'm trying to say is that it is not so complicated that you cannot do anything else. Like when I was knitting my Irene socks, I couldn't even knit them in a social area where people were talking, because I kept on making mistakes. So all of the pattern repeats in this pattern is easy enough, so that you do it over like 8 stitches or something, and you just keep repeating until you get to the end of the round. So that is really, really a very, very nice knit. And I think that is maybe also why people love this so much. It's because it keeps you engaged, but not to such a point that you can't do anything else. So yes, I am completely in love with this project. I really love it. So yes, I added a lifeline now to the project. I don't know, you can see there, because I am now going to start for the sleeves, the shaping for the sleeves. And because I don't get gauge, I don't really know what size to follow, because for the amount of stitches that I need for the sizes, I need so many stitches, there's not a size on the pattern for those amount of stitches. So what I decided to do is just, I put it on waste yarn and I fitted it, and it fits nicely. So I decided to just do my own calculations of what I think the amount of the sleeves would be, and I then divided my stitches into the first size in the pattern, and I'm going to do my increases as I see fit, and I'm gonna fit it a lot and see where the increases should be, how frequently I should increase, and then I'll make notes on that with the pattern in mind, and we shall see how it fits at the end of the day. I'm not looking for a very, very big oversized top. I'm just looking for a nice top to wear in summertime. So I am so excited about this project. I could almost not put it down. Every time I reach for something, even today, I just want to work on this. But yes. So that is, oh, let me add a progress keeper before I go any further. Let's add one of these beautiful ones from Ietsie Klein. There we go. That is a progress keeper by Ietsie Klein. She makes beautiful, beautiful stitch markers and progress keepers. So that is my ranunculus. Let me just put the swatches back. And that is all of my current whips. I can quickly talk about future plans, because I am only going to do my next podcast in the next month, in August. But I'll quickly just talk about my future plans before we go to the crafting goals. So my future plans is that I am going to make another hat for my husband in chunky yarn. So I'm not necessarily going to wait until August before I cast it on. I might still do it in this month, so we shall see about that one. And then obviously I'm going to make a pair of socks for August, and I decided to add one more whip out of my whip bin for my August projects. And for that I am going to do the second dark blanket that I was planning on making, which is basically just working all of these squares together. It is just knitted up squares. They are not exactly the same size, so I'm not yet sure how I'm going to join them, but I will figure it out in next month and join them together and add a border. So that is my future plans for now. I don't have any plans for any other cast-ons, but you never know. Things just jump onto your YouTube feed and then you have the need to cast them on. So. Alright, so let's move into the crafting goals section. Okay, so for the crafting goals this month, I had the goal of finishing my lace, for which I do 26 repeats of the lace pattern this month for every week, and I'm almost on track with that. I did two weeks worth of 26 repeats, and for this week that just passed I only did 11, but I will get some more of the yarn that I need out of my yarns that I'm going to use, and I will finish that off. My July socks are done, the hat for my husband is done, and the Skreppa cowl is also done. So that was the goals that I had for this month. So I must just now finish this piece of lace, and then I would have met all of my goals for July. And then because my next podcast episode will be in August, I have already planned out my August crafting goals, which is again one piece of the lace for the pantry. And this time I'm planning on doing 23 repeats each week, and in the little bit last few days of the last week I will do 11 repeats of the lace. And then my August socks, I'm not sure which ones I'm going to do for now. I think it might be another pair for myself, because I haven't gotten any yarn for my husband for socks again. So I will just stick to the same idea that I had this month, which is half a sock per week. So half of the second half of the first sock, and then half of the second sock, and the second half of the second sock in the fourth week. And then I have those 3 or 4 days as a buffer. So that is the plans for the socks. The dark blanket has got 20 blocks. So what I decided to do is I will join 5 blocks together every week, and that half a week I will do a border around the blanket. I'm sure I will just crochet a border around the blanket, just to give it a little bit of structure. I'm thinking that I might also be crocheting these blocks together, because they are not exactly the same size. So I'm not sure. I will see how I will join them when I start on that. Then I don't really have planned out schedule for the hat for my husband for this month, or for the ranunculus, but at the rate I'm going with this ranunculus, it might be finished before the next month. So you'll never know. We shall have to see how quickly I get through that one. Yes, that is about all of my crafting goals for this month. If anything else pops up, I will definitely keep you updated in the next podcast episode. Alright, and then we can move on to news. Alright, so for news this week is my video that went live last week was for the crochet garments that I made in the past. They were all just tops, but I will link it down below for you if you missed that, and if you're interested. I go into a little bit of detail on the patterns and what yarns I used and how it was made and so forth. Then the Crafty Stitches Craft Night was on the 22nd of July. We really enjoyed it. Thank you so much to everybody who came and joined us for a little chat. I really enjoy this community of yarny friends where everybody shares their projects and give tips and tricks on anything that you ask, and I really love that. And thank you so much to everybody who came. I really enjoy it every month, just more and more. So we shall see. I think we'll definitely keep on doing this. It's really a lot of fun. All right, so the next thing on my list of news is that Knotty Habit will be having their monthly Zoom this Thursday. So if you are interested, please send them a DM on Instagram or Facebook for the details, and I'm sure they will share that with you. It's also a lot of fun. I really like joining other groups and see what they're making and have a little chat and so forth. Okay, and then the other thing that is happening this month still is my friend Leanie and I have our monthly Scrappy Sunday chat on Sunday the 31st of July, which is this coming Sunday. We will be having the chat at 4 o'clock Sunday in the afternoon, 4 o'clock South African Standard Time, and it will be live on both of our channels. And yes, we will also be having another guest this month, which will be Gertruida from Ietsie Klein, who makes all of the beautiful stitch markers. I am not sure how she does all the things she does, because she knits, she crochets, she spins, she makes stitch markers, she weaves. I mean, and she still has a day job. Goodness. She's got beautiful crochet projects, scrappy projects. So yes, I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Please come and join us. I will add a countdown timer in my Instagram stories for the Scrappy Sunday chat, and you can click on that to help you remember about the chat. Okay, then the last thing for my news this week is that we had Sock Week this month. Sock Week is a knit-along hosted by Natty of the Love in Stitches podcast once a year, and Sock Week started, and we were talking, my friend Leanie and I were talking, and it just happened that we started Sock Week Team SA. So if you're interested, please go have a look on my Instagram. I have saved all of the Team SA socks and pictures and shares on my Instagram highlights. It is named Sock Week Team SA, I think. Yes, Sock Week Team SA. So please go have a look at that and see the beautiful things that all the participants made. I was quite impressed with some people's amount of socks. Really. I just decided to make one sock this year in Sock Week, and yes, they made a lot of socks. Made us very proud. Thank you so much to everybody that participated and shared and agreed for me to share their pictures when their Instagram accounts weren't public. So thank you so much for that, and for the permission, and for joining us. It's always a lot of fun seeing things that other people also makes. All right, so now it is time for my podcast recommendations. So in this episode, I am again recommending 2 podcasts. I'm sure you may have already heard about these podcasts, but it is something that I watched this past 2 weeks, and I thought, let me just share it. If maybe you didn't hear about them, then maybe you can find new yarny friends. So the first one is the Crafty Knitting Podcast, which is Rebecca. She is from Scotland. She currently lives in Edinburgh, and she makes beautiful garments. I am just amazed at how quickly she makes these garments. And then she sews as well, makes her own dresses and just beautiful, beautiful things. She just started, I think they are going to start maybe tomorrow or so. She started a test knit for her own design, which is the Cargill sweater. Maybe I'll put up a picture for you so that you can see. It is a beautiful, beautiful sweater that she designed, and I really enjoy watching her podcast and just listen to all of the things that she makes. And she makes a lot of garments, and she is very, very quick. I think I would like to knit as quick as she does. Okay, so my second podcast recommendation for this episode is Lily Kate Makes. Lily Kate is from the UK, and she has been designing garments, I don't want to lie, I think from she was like about 14 years old when she started, I think. And yeah, she makes very interesting garments and constructions and beautiful poofy sleeved garments. They are very, very, very beautiful. She also just released a top with some mohair on the neck part. I'll put a picture up for you. And yeah, it is beautiful. She makes a lot of beautiful garments. She just made 2 very interesting videos. Well, I found them very interesting. The one was a video about where to start when you want to start designing your own garments. Tips on that type of thing. And then she also made a video on what makes a best-selling pattern. So I found those 2 videos very interesting. She does do a normal podcast episode where she shares new designs that's coming up and things that she works on. But I found these 2 videos very, very interesting. And that is all of my podcast recommendations for this episode. I will end the episode now with my normal comment question. And my comment question this week is, do you actually wear the projects that you make? Like if you make tops or shawls or cowls or socks, do you actually wear them? And if you do you choose a specific project for something that you need in your wardrobe, or a specific color? Or do you just live on the edge, go wild, and cast on anything that you like? I would love to know that, because I started thinking about this a little while ago, and I was thinking I'm going to go through my own wardrobe and see what color of items I do have for summer, for instance, and then I'm going to knit projects to coordinate with what I already have and what I would like to add to my wardrobe. So say for instance I would like to add more blue, I will go and get me something blue for the summer and knit a top maybe to match that. So that is my idea. I would love to know what you think of that, garment wise. And that is all that I have for you for this episode. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you would like to see more of my content. And I will see you in the next one. Until next time, happy crafting. Bye.